Good evening, guys. James and Jacqueline from Mind and Body Detox. Welcome to our first Facebook Live on our business page. Welcome. So, as the title suggests, we're going to teach you how to beat exam stress and boss those results. This came about because one of the group training sessions that I was doing last week, whilst the guys were stretching, I was just kind of asking what they were doing the weekend. And they were sharing with me that their particular two children, Lisa and Lucy, have got children that are going through GCSEs and they're studying so many hours in the Easter break. So we thought, what better time to then have a look at suggesting some things that they can do from a tips perspective that can make their life a little bit easier through the exams that they're doing. So this applies to anyone that's going to be doing mocks, kind of 11 plus when that comes around next year. GCSEs, A-levels, people at uni, at college, even people that are in the professional workplace that are constantly doing exams. This information will apply to you. So I think we should just get straight into it.
Yeah, okay, then. So I think we're going to go, James is going to ask me some questions and I'm going to answer to the best of my abilities.
Okay, so just tell us about the brain as far as how much the brain is made up of fat. That's about 60%, isn't it?
Yeah, so you answered that question yourself.
What if you want to go and lead on to that?
Sorry.
What they asked then?
No, Lisa's saying that she can't access it and she's going to try. Let me know. Comment if you can see us. If you can't, then because it's obviously our first Facebook Live on the business page, so we want to make sure that everybody's getting this.
But so, Glenn's watching, so Glenn's already got
Hi,
into
Glenn. So, yes, the brain is made up of predominantly fat. So this is why one of the key things to have in your diet for good cognitive health is essential fatty acids. So do you want me to launch into things to have in your diet?
Yeah, so really we want to kind of share with them what kind of foods are best to eat.
Okay, so I'll give you a whole list of things that are good to get in your diet and then I'll explain why. So, notes here, things to get in your diet: leafy green veg, so all your cruciferous veg, so things like Brussels, broccoli, cabbage, spinach, asparagus, citrus fruits, lentils, beans and pulses are super good for energy. Seeds and nuts as well because they're very high in good fats. Carrots because they're really high in folate. Turkey, chicken, mushrooms, liver, tuna, grass-fed beef. All of that is have an abundance in your diet. The reason being is because you need B vitamins and those things have B vitamins in. B vitamins are super powerful for energy, concentration and the nervous system, so to control them nerves. And the three B vitamins that are the most important are niacin, which is called B3, B12 and folate, which is also B9. We've spoken about essential fatty acids. Get your essential fatty acids in. Now, I do talk to people about supplementation, but I think this is one supplement that expensive supplements will not make up for a poor diet. So try and get your fatty acids in through your diet. So we're talking about coconut oil, nuts and seeds, oily fish, so like your mackerel and your salmon, and then what I always do, if I'm feeling a little bit tired at around 3 o'clock just before the school run, I guess when most mums would go and have a cup of coffee, I go and have a teaspoon of just pure coconut oil, and it is like a light bulb going on in the brain. So that's the top tip. So yeah, in terms of diet, that's the things that you want to be looking at and increasing. Okay,
so we've looked at what they can increase. What are the main kind of foods that we should let them to either reduce or eliminate for this particular period of time, this stressful period of time?
Yeah, so you really want to, and it's so tempting to keep having these things in your diet because in the short term they can feel like they're helping. So things like caffeine and sugar, which are stimulants, which give you a pick-me-up, but you have to remember what goes up will come down again. So with things like caffeine, if you're having caffeine to stay awake, is it then going to affect your sleep when you're trying to get to sleep at night? And sleep's going to be really key for rest and recuperation and recovery and for memory and cognitive health. So things that you want to reduce or avoid are anything with caffeine in, anything sugar in. So straight away, fizzy drinks are a big no-no because they have both. They have caffeine and sugar.
Just have a look at our previous videos. So the Easter egg video had 30,000 plus views. The other video regarding
Energy
the energy drinks had over 5,000 views. So just have a look at those again, and just to kind of refresh your memory if you haven't seen those, they're on this page and they're on our personal page as well.
And going off the topic of food, other things to avoid as well. And I know there's going to be loads of people that are not happy with this, but one of the things that you should avoid, particularly during exam times, but you should really try and minimise them as much as possible anyway, is computer games, use of your phone and iPad and tablets, because they can increase anxiety, depression, because of the constant stimulation, and the minute you turn them off, your brain requires that stimulation again. So it's best if you keep them to a minimum, especially during exam times.
And I would say indefinitely, kind of that period that's kind of the melatonin period, where it's kind of 7 o'clock post.
That's one of the other things that you really want to be avoiding is late nights. So one of the things to really do is get yourself into a good sleep routine. So this would be something like knowing that at 9:30 you are going to go up, you're going to run a bath, put some magnesium salts in your bath as well. The reason being, and I've made notes on this one, magnesium salts are so super beneficial because, and there's so many, that's why I've got notes, there's so many reasons why it will help you around exams. It improves focus, it improves memory, it improves sleep, stress, improves depression, it's calming, it will calm the nervous system, it improves energy, it's a neurotransmitter, it will help to the function of the neurotransmitters, which is the messages that are sent via the brain. And magnesium is better taken transdermally, which means through the skin. So if you get some magnesium flakes, put them in your bath, have a nice long soak in your bath, 9:30, 10 o'clock in the bath, having a nice magnesium soak, and then you come out the bath, phones are off, there's no more any devices on at all, especially in the bedroom, they're all off, and that is your downtime, it's your winding down time. It's when you can do a little bit of reading. One thing that I would highly, highly, highly recommend is recording your revision onto your iPhone. You can get notes and stuff, or you can get one of these dictaphones. So if we're having devices off at night time, record stuff onto a dictaphone and then play it while you're laying in bed and drifting off.
And we know this works because Nerdy over here, I didn't do this, Nerdy over here got 10 straight A's at GCSE.
I got a lot of A's at GCSE, yeah, and I did audio learning, so I had a Walkman back in the day.
You're showing your age now.
No iPods or iPhones then. I had a Walkman, I recorded everything onto my Walkman, and then I listened to it with my headphones on when I went to bed every night, and it literally goes into the subconscious mind, and this is how we learn the words to songs. So this is when we hear a song and we know all the words, and we're thinking, how do I know all the words to this song? I don't think I've heard it before, but subconsciously you might have heard it a couple of times in the car or just on the radio in the background, and all of a sudden you know the words. And this is why it's a really good idea to do audio learning. You must do audio learning, recording your revision, having your wind down time and listening to that revision as you're drifting off and it's going into the brain.
Yeah. So I think this is probably one of the elements that you come into your own compared to a lot of other people. So do you want to go through kind of like the visualizations and the affirmations that these guys can be doing?
Okay, so before we go on to that bit, just one more other thing to just end on the supplements is one supplement that I would recommend most people to take quite a lot of the time anyway, regardless of whether it's exams, is a probiotic, just because you're going to increase the good bacteria, and there's so much evidence, we could do an entire Facebook Live on it, there's so much evidence into the gut-brain connection. So, you need your brain to be optimum and work into its optimal capabilities when you're doing exams, so putting that probiotic in and really beefing up the gut-brain connection is going to be super beneficial. Also essential oils.
Yeah.
So I'm a massive fan of essential oils. They work on at a cellular level just by smelling them or rubbing them on the skin. I'm going to give you my top 3 essential oils to help with concentration, nerves, energy. So number 1 is bergamot. Bergamot is known as nature's Prozac. So if you're somebody that's getting stressed around the exam time, you feel depressed, you feel anxious, bergamot is a brilliant oil to be diffusing as you do your revision, and so you're inhaling it, it's going in and it's calming you down. Lavender is also a nervous system restorative. So another one, lavender is great, rub it on here or smelling it, that's brilliant. Frankincense is another one to diffuse. Rub it on the soles of your feet, rub it on your wrists, around here, around the nape of your neck, and this relieves anxiety and depression. So this is all obviously medication free, and you're going to start to feel benefit at a cellular level.
And if you need to shout where to get them, we can get them.
Yeah, I can help you source really good quality oils, because like everything, there's good and bad quality.
Absolutely.
So you was talking about the mindset. So yeah.
So one more thing to go back to is that obviously all the information we're given is generic. So, you know, when Jacqueline does one-to-ones and we take 2 hours to go through our one-to-ones because she goes through a timeline back from birth, we're giving this as generic. Lots of people, the vast majority of people that come to us are on medications. So once we've got the understanding of what they're on, Jacqueline can then suggest what to do. Whereas obviously this is generic information. We don't know what you guys are taking at the moment.
I don't know if you are on prescribed medication, some of these supplements there may be a contraindication to it. So I would need to look into that, and that's when you would need to have some personalised advice. But at the moment, as a caveat, this is just generic advice.
Yeah. So let's get on to the kind of visualisations and the affirmations.
Okay, so this is something that we work on in our online program with people, and it's something that we see the greatest shift in people, because you need to be working on your mindset. All healing begins in the mind, and if you have a specific goal, you need to be working on that in your mind as well. So obviously, if you're doing your exams, you have a specific goal to pass, to get good results. So I'm going to give you 2 top tips to work on your mindset during these stressful times. The first one is affirmations. Now, in our #1 Amazon bestseller, Mind Body Miracle, there's a whole chapter on affirmations, how to write them, how to phrase them, exactly why they work. They are positive statements of intention, and they're said in the present tense, like you've already achieved it. And the reason they work is because the brain likes repetition. It's how we learn anything. How did you learn your alphabet? You repeated it 100 times and then you knew it, and it went in.
Thank you. You'll probably have to rewatch it, Lisa. At least just saying there's so many knowledge bombs out there. So because we talk so quickly because we're so passionate, we want to get
and I don't want the
so
Facebook Live to be really, really long.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so
rewatch it.
So affirmations. So here is, I'm going to give you a really good affirmation for exams, and anybody that's old like me won't know that exams have changed now. They're not marked as grade A, B, C, D anymore. They're 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. So this is why this affirmation says this. So something like, give it a time. It is August 2018. I've picked that because that's when the exam results come out. Yeah. It's August 2018, and I am so proud to have achieved a 9 in my GCSE maths exam. So that is a great affirmation. It's something you'll need to be saying twice a day. Anchor it to brushing your teeth. So when you brush your teeth in the morning, you say that affirmation loud and proud in the mirror. When you brush your teeth in the evening, you say that affirmation loud and proud in the mirror. Yes, you're going to feel like a banana. You will at first, but the more you say it, the more you believe it, and then your actions will match it.
You have to believe it. You have to believe it.
You won't believe it at first.
Yeah.
You won't believe it at first.
You'll feel fraudulent at first.
You'll be having that negative Nancy in your ear going, who are you trying to kid? Ignore it. Silence it. Just plough on, because this will create a shift. We've seen it on our online program time and time again. Yeah. It will create a shift. Say it, believe it, and I promise you will achieve it.
Debbie, please share it. We want to share it to as many kind of children and parents as possible, so please share away.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you why it's so important to share, because our eldest daughter, Angelica, who's 9, even at the age of 9, she starts to get anxious about tests and exams. And there's so much pressure, I think unnecessary pressure, piled onto children from such a young age. You know, 9 is no age at all to be starting to experience this kind of pressure. Yeah. And she's an ultra sensitive girl anyway, so she starts to take on, you know, all these anxieties, and she comes home and says, Mummy, I've got a test, and what if I don't do well? And I always say to her, you will try your best, but if you still don't get a very good grade, which I 100% believe you will, but if you didn't, that grade doesn't define who you are. It doesn't define who you are, because who is marking your paper doesn't know that you are an incredible daughter, that you are a caring sister, that you've got all your badges at Brownies, that you make the best friend that anyone could ever wish for, that you're kind and caring and considerate, and that you have an amazing dry sense of humour. The person marking your exam paper doesn't know any of those things, and they're more important than the grade that you get and how you was feeling on that day. So don't let it define you. Do your best, but it is not definitive. And it's so important to get that message home to people that are about to sit exams, because I know people that have been so depressed after getting their exam results because they feel like they're not enough, and they absolutely are enough regardless of what that exam paper tells you.
Absolutely.
And let me give you an example of this. Shout out to Mark. I went to school with Mark. Mark did not do very well at school. School and Mark were not friends.
He was never there, was he?
He was hardly there, and he didn't do very well, not because he wasn't clever, but because school is about trying to fit a round peg into a round hole. And if you're square or triangle and you don't fit into that round hole, then they don't try and attempt to make you fit, they just forget about you. But Mark now is one of the most successful people I know in terms of business. Incredible business he's created. So what does that tell you about exams and schooling? It does not define you. So please remember that. Use all these top tips. Use the mindset tips. Use the diet tips. Use the revision tips. But remember that this is not definitive.
Lisa, like she said, this is great. Luke has admitted he feels very anxious. So hopefully Luke is watching this, or if not, he watched it back with you at a later date. Luke, you are not on your own. The amount of people that I speak to, and when I look back at it, GCSEs, when you are 15, 16, are the biggest thing in the world, and you can't think about anything else. But it's just about getting you to the next level. So if that's whether that's going to college, whether that's going to get a job, whether that's going to get A-levels, it's just a progression. So although it feels the biggest thing, but in comparison to the rest of your life, it's not. So don't stress. I know it's easy for us to say because we've been through that, but you'll look back at this next year and realise that.
Let me give you an example. So I done really well because I was a nerd at school. So I studied, I got my exam results, I went on to become an accountant. I'm an accountant now? No, I had to retrain because back then I didn't know what I wanted to be. So I had to retrain, requalify to become the thing that I actually wanted to be. So did them results define me? No, because I went on to be something else later on in life. So if it doesn't go well for you at that point, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's never going to go well for you ever again. It's a stumbling block. And it is not about the fall, it is about the picking yourself up. What's the saying? It's not the setback, it's the comeback.
And it's taken us 15, 20 years to find our purpose.
Absolutely, absolutely. So one more mindset tip. So I've covered affirmations. The other thing that's super easy to do, anyone can do it, will really help your mindset, is visualizations. Again, this is covered in a chapter in Mind, Body, Miracle, Meditations and Visualizations chapter. But visualizations really work. Hang on, I tell my daughter every day that they're amazing, and they roll their eyes at me, but they have actually said...
They love it, and it makes them feel great.
Awesome.
Perfect. That's what it's all about, Lucy.
Tell them. They're going to roll your eyes. Tell them.
Yeah.
So visualizations, they work. So they work because you only have to look at some of the gold medal winners of the Olympics. And when you look at some of the mindset things that they have done, they have used visualizations. So they have visualized getting the result that they wanted, and they have won the gold medal. And this is what you can do with your exams. So you can visualize yourself walking into the exam, opening the paper up, seeing the questions, feeling relief, knowing that you've revised all of the things that are in that paper, writing and writing and writing, and then walking out of the exam room with a sense of achievement, knowing that you've absolutely bossed it. That's a good visualization. Another one is picking up your results. So the day you go to pick up your results and you open that envelope and you see all of those 9s or 8s or whatever you're aiming for, and that feeling it's going to give you. And another visualization, telling your parents what results you got. Imagine their faces, imagine your face. Really conjure up how that's going to feel, how proud you're going to make them, how proud you're going to make yourself. So there's lots of visualizations that you can do there, and you can run through them over and over again in your mind. And it's not daydreaming, because these are proven tactics that people use that are extremely successful in terms of sport, in terms of film, so many. So use these tips and tricks, please, because they're there for your disposal, they're easy to use, they cost nothing, and they will really help, because they allow you to take some control back of that anxiety. So rather than feeling that everything is spiralling out of control, this is out of my control, I can only do so much, take control back with these tools, with a little bit of mindset, eating the right food, getting the right rest, right supplementation, oils to calm you down, and you will walk into that exam room knowing that you've done everything in your power to get the best possible result you can.
Yeah, and I think as well there'd be something that I would look from kind of from a mental perspective, in the sense of that something to alleviate the pressure is take lots of short breaks. So I was training a particular client on Friday, and she was saying that she hurt her lower back, and I said, well, what's been hurting over the last couple of days? What have you done differently? Where she's been studying so much, she's been sitting cross-legged and bent over for such a long period of time. So we've said to her, okay, so what about when you're revising, how about you sit on kind of a Swiss ball? So you're up posturised, or there's different kind of elements. Do short, sharp breaks, so kind of do 15, 20 minutes of really hard graft, and then go out for a walk, get some fresh air. She's got a dog, so they go and walk the dogs, whatever that might be. Or, you know, do a couple of hours in split times, go and do one of our HIIT sessions, whatever it might be, because obviously that's going to release loads of endorphins, going to make you feel great, that's going to help you focus and concentrate for the next set of revision. So there's little things like that can really make the effect. And as we say, doing these little daily disciplines and habits will have such a powerful compound effect that at the end, when you're doing all of your exams and you're getting your results, it's going to be fantastic.
You've got two choices. With the book is based on healthy habits and daily disciplines. Easy to do, easy not to do. The reason that most people don't do it is because they think they're so small, they're not going to make a difference. Yeah. But if you save £1 a day, by the end of the year, you've saved quite a lot of money, but £1 a day doesn't seem a lot of money. It's the cumulative effect. So this is why these tiny little things can make a big difference over time if you apply them daily with consistency. So give them a go, guys. Yep. Let us know how you get on with them.
Actually, I'd like to cover a couple of things. So Lucy's kindly said, this is all brilliant. Minty's going to love it. I'm going to share it tonight. Thank you so much. And Debbie shared, the world has conditioned us to be negative from day one. It's so sad. So this is true. She said, Jack, you have helped me with this. So, Jack, your book has helped me with this. So if you've not purchased this book, please do so. That's very kind of Debbie. Thank you. So obviously, if people don't get their particular results, what to look forward to, or what's the aspect to look at, because now we're seeing it more and more now with mental well-being and kind of mental health issues, that it's now coming out and saying that 1 in 4 of us have got mental health issues. For me, I think all of us, if we look at it candidly, we've all got some form of mental health issues.
Well, we've all got mental health, just like we've got physical health. It's whether we look after that mental health, just like it's whether we look after that physical health. So this whole thing about when I hear people say, oh, she's got mental health. Yeah, we've all got mental health. It's whether we look after it or not. Just the same as our physical health. So, you know, making sure that you look after it with these daily disciplines, things like meditation and affirmations and visualizations and eating the right foods is all going to go somewhere towards looking after your mental health. Yeah. And just knowing that if you are being the best you can possibly be, then nobody can tell you that's not good enough. No exam invigilator, no teacher, no parent, no one can tell you it's not good enough if you know in your heart that you gave it your all.
And, you know, if you don't get the results for whatever reason, then it's not the be-all and end-all. There are plenty of things to do. As we said, it's taken us years to really find our purpose and our drive in life. At 16, the vast majority of people don't know what they want to be doing. At 18, they don't know what they're doing. They come out of university, they still don't know what they want to be doing. So don't stress. Although it seems the biggest thing in the world to you at the moment, and we can appreciate that because we've both been there. Jack's a little bit longer than I, but we've both been there. So everyone goes through it. And if you're a teenager watching this, sometimes when mum or dad are saying it, it's white noise. Then you hear them saying that all the time. Hopefully, hearing it from us, it comes over from a slightly different angle. So I would urge all the parents on our pages to kind of share this with their children, share it with the teenagers. You know, if you're someone at uni, please watch this, because hopefully it might just give you a different angle, a different aspect that you've not considered before.
And I would say pass or fail, it doesn't define you. It's just part of your journey. It is not the final destination. You can change that destination at any point.
Absolutely.
So wish you all luck with your exams. If you need more one-to-one help, then do get in touch with us. We're now enrolling for our online programme for May, so that's exciting, and we'll be posting some more about that next for the following of the week.
But please share away, guys, and hopefully we can impact as many people as we did with kind of the Easter egg video that we did a few weeks ago as well. So please share away, and we sincerely hope it helps. And please comment and let us know about that.
Take care.
Have a good evening. Bye.